Dance taught me so many life lessons that are so key to my life right now. Discipline, perseverance, just the art of just keep on keeping on, you know what I mean?
Hi, I'm Lorna Maseko. I'm an award-winning international celebrity chef, cookbook author, and media personality.
I think my faith plays a huge role in my life. It is actually just the center of everything that I do. Whether I'm weak, strong, happy, joyous, whatever it is, I feel like that is my true north. I'm fulfilled in pursuing the dream. Am I content? Absolutely not.
Well, you guys are already listening to Fearlessly Living with Arian and Simone. And I have the legendary, the iconic, yes, honey, Lorna Maseko in the building. We're in South Africa.
Finally, like I've been trying to get this girl to come to this country for so long, and I'm so happy that you're in it. Even though you might have a little uncomfortable. But that's between you and I.
I love this place. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. Yeah. I can't say if I love it more than Cote d'Ivoire, but I love it.
We're just gonna like rope her in slowly, you know.
But what I love even about you is you figured out how to basically live here and work in the U.S. as a celebrity chef and an influencer and a philanthropist. I'm like, wait.
I'm trying to figure it out. I haven't quite worked it out yet. You know, like they say, like I like to think about it this way. I'm like, life is a different dance rhythm. So sometimes it's in a dodge, so it's like slow and then you haven't figured out, you know, sometimes you're just cramping. I feel like I'm just like cramping and trying to save my life. Sometimes it's a samba that's got a groove to it. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it is in my life, but it feels like a bit of a cramp, but just like,
but you're keeping it moving.
Girl, as fast as I can, okay? So, but I'm enjoying it and I'm loving it. You know, I don't think I would have my life any other way.
Oh, that's beautiful. And
as crazy as it is, but
dancing.
Yeah.
What made you not take that on as a profession? Because everybody's looking at bio.
I know I was a professional dancer and I loved it, and so funny because when I left, I hated it. I was like, I don't like this. I don't want anything to do with that. It was just so traumatic. And now that I'm older and I look back and I'm like, wow, dance taught me so many life lessons that are so key to my life right now. Discipline, perseverance, just the art of just keep on keeping on, you know what I mean? And so I'm so grateful for it. And I didn't see it when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I'm like, thank you, Mom, for like pursuing and making sure that I carry on, you know? So
what age did you stop?
I stopped. Girls kind of.
No, I'm not trying to age you.
Yeah.
We're talking as a professional dancer as well too.
Are you?
But yeah,
I
know. But I stopped around 15.
Okay, no.
I was a dance company and I stopped at 15. Yes, back home in Detroit. Detroit was a dance academy. Yes.
A lady of many talents. I love it. So I stopped when I was around 22.
Oh, wonderful.
And I'd done like a couple of lead roles, so Don Q, Nutcracker.
I love it.
I was like, I'm done. This just doesn't feel gratifying and satisfying anymore. And the amount I'm putting in to what I'm getting out just doesn't balance.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And I mean, then I chose to become a chef, which just feels pretty much the same. With a few other, I think the gratifications are a little bit more, but it's still this probably more hard work than I'm really working harder now than I ever have in my life. And I thought people were supposed to slow down at some point.
But are you fulfilled?
Am I fulfilled? It's a hard question for a person like me because I'm a high D personality. And I'm constantly reaching for like the impossible. You know, like I could have tried to pursue a career in the UK, which is 14 hours. I'm trying to do it in like the hardest entertainment industry in the world. That's like, it takes me 24 hours to get to the US. Am I fulfilled? I'm fulfilled in pursuing the dream. Am I content? Absolutely not.
What could make you content?
I think once I start seeing the fruits of my labor flourish and reap rewards, then I'd be like,
well, how would you measure that? Because you have awards, you have recognition.
Not like the awards that I want.
I'm like internationally known.
Getting there. That's an odd question. It's just like, I read an interview about like Elon Musk and the guy that wrote, and he's like crazy, but, and the guy that wrote his book is like, the guy that wrote his book. And he was like, is Elon happy? And he's like, no, he's not, because he's never content with anything. And like he was comparing it to Jeff Bezos, and he was like, he's always happy, because he's like about like, you know, he got a fun wife, and he's like about like the next private jet and the next yacht and experiences, you know. And so I'm trying to find, hopefully I'm like somewhere in between the intensity and the fun of life, that even though in the intensity of wanting to achieve these goals and not being satisfied, I'm learning that because my brain doesn't operate like that. She's like, no, I'm learning that because my brain doesn't operate like that. And so I have to be like, no, take a moment, take it in. You know, like I didn't, you know, everyone's been doing like their 2023 like highlights. Like,
I know, I didn't do any of that.
Well, I didn't do it because I was like, what am I sitting with? Like, what have I done? And now I had to sit down and say, Lorna.
That pussy.
You know what? It wasn't too shabby, nice. You know, like I launched my cookware line on HSN and it did really, really well. Excuse me.
But
it did really, really well. And then I cooked for Jesse Eisenberg. I cooked for Maria. We did pop-ups in New York. I cooked at the James Beard Foundation.
yes, I was there.
Those are big moments. You know what I mean? So
If you don't have, I guess you would say, a benchmark or something to measure this by, it's like you always have a moving target and you'll never get there.
I think I do internally. It's like the little things that I think you sit down and you write them down, you pray to them, to God, and you keep them to yourself. I think I definitely have those. I don't share them with the world, like, oh, let me do this, da, da, da. But it's those secret things that you like, once it happens, you're going to be like, bing, pants, what's up? You know? It's like, it reminds me, like, when I used to be a dancer, like, I was a really good turner. And so, like, I'd have to, like, doing 32 4Js was, like, my thing. And so I'd be, like, single, double, 32 times, basically. And I'd finish off and be like, damn, it was so good. Because that's hard, right? Like, those are hard.
Times.
Exactly. So I feel like when I get to that point, I might be like, Kimberly Lawrence, we did it, you know, and be happy and content with that. So
that's it. So you have what that vision looks like. Remember, we're always growing.
Yeah.
We're always learning. We're always achieving.
Yeah.
So for 2024,
Yes, ma'am.
what are the plans?
Oh, the plans. I think it's constant, just firstly to be a great mother to my daughter. Like that's really important to me, and help her see the world in a different light, that, you know, South Africa or where she lives is not the be all and end all. Like there are many communities, Cote d'Ivoire, there are many communities in other parts of the continent. There are many communities outside of the continent that are diverse and rich and interesting and cultured and colorful and attractive and amazing. And so that is what I would like to constantly try to do. I think that's not a 2024 goal. That's just like, that's like, as long as I, you know, have breath in Jesus' name, I will continue. And then just, you know, cookbooks, continue with my launching new pieces for my HSN line, which I'm really excited about.
Oh, man.
Thank you. Just a lot more TV with the US, cookbook, just exciting projects that I think little Lorna, or even older Lorna, would have been like, wow, you know, this investment that you've been doing, going to the US, spending months on ends, a small little apartment.
But you did say something key just there. You say, Arian and Lorna.
Yes.
Do you reflect in that way to say, oh, she would be proud of me today?
If you have a question for the Fearlessly Living with Arian and Simone podcast show, be sure to get on the website, submit your question. If you would like to be a part of our community, please join us, because guess what? You have an opportunity to be on the show. Now back to today's episode.
It's weird because not all the time. I think I still reflect an older Lorna, that older Lorna, like maybe 10 years ago, would be super proud of what I hope to achieve in my latter years. So
This is that way. That little later than the 10 years.
Later than the 10 years. Yeah, we're still young.
Definitely still young. And then you did mention that you have things that you've kept in your heart, of course.
Yeah.
Just talk to God. Spirituality.
Yeah.
Were you raised in the church, or how did this come for you?
Definitely not raised in the church. I was in the streets. I was having the time of my life, child, before the cell phone. No, I'm kidding. But no, I definitely wasn't raised in church. But I had a friend, strangely enough, who we used to dance with. And even when we went out and we had like a raucous night and it was crazy and wild, she'd be like, church on a Sunday. And we'd be like,
just get up and go.
We'd have to go with her because we'd be sleeping in our house because her parents were the only ones that would allow us to do, kind of come back on late or whatever. And she'd take us to church. Like, it'd be like on a Sunday, Peggy would be like, we're going to church. And then we'd sit in that Catholic church like, this is rough. But anyway, we did it. But I wasn't raised in the church. I actually got saved in 2005. I drove this church, and I still live at the same church, which is pretty cool. So, so no, I wasn't raised in the church in terms of like church was a thing we did, or my relationship with God was a thing we did. I just discovered that in my like when I was early 20s, I think. Yeah.
And how has that journey been as far as and where it shows up in your life, in your mothering, in your career, in everything?
I think my faith plays a huge role in my life. It is actually just the center of everything that I do. Whether I'm weak, strong, happy, joyous, whatever it is, I feel like that is my true north. My relationship with God is super important. I feel like the older you get and you realize how difficult life is, the closer to God you kind of get to. I don't think when I was younger it was as deep and as what's the word? Just like a sense of like
dependence.
Yeah, and like life is real.
Oh, it's real.
Difficult. And so I just don't know like what I would do without my relationship with God. It's I guess I could be vulnerable and say like this journey and trying to build my career in the US hasn't been and I haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg. I literally am just starting to do something now. Do you know what I mean? But it's been like, where you're like, God, what's happening? I'm working hard, and it tests your faith, it tests who you are, it tests trusting in Him. And I'm always like, God, people are watching and they see us trusting in You and reading Your word, and I also just feel like God would not allow us to fail in front of our enemies like that. And I just feel like surely He would not do that to His kids, so
I believe that too.
Yeah,
that is beautiful.
So anyway, but it's a very important relationship for me. I don't get it right all the time, probably never, but it's a path I've chosen and a path that I continue to build.
And I do as well. I agree.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just so in love with the continent of Africa.
I just you are.
I've been to Japan. I've been to China. I've been to Indonesia. I've been to Korea. I've been to so many places.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, all over Europe.
No, but the continent is beautiful. Like each part of the African continent has its own culture and heritage and interest, and for like it is just so beautiful. Like I'm surprised people are only catching on to the African continent now. It's like
it is unfortunate.
You come to South Africa, you get a completely experience to if you were going to like Morocco or Ghana, Nigeria. I've never been to Cote d'Ivoire. Should be doing this year.
She's coming.
So when you just get such a different, you go to Namibia, it feels like a different place. And so you go to the Okavango Delta and it's like, wow, like why are people discovering it now?
But I'm glad they are. Yeah, I'm glad it's unfortunate, but now fortunately they are. The reason why is because of the propaganda and the fake press that was pushed internationally about Africa.
Absolutely.
As if this was some one unattractive place, which is the most beautiful place in the world as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So it is. It's the most. It's
so diverse and so different, and each country has the people are different.
Yeah.
The language is different.
One country may have 20 languages. It's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, we have overdid ourselves.
Oh, you know, how many do you speak? Do you speak just English?
Each time.
So that's, and an African will start a sentence in one language and finish it in the next. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know that one.
No, so I speak Tswana. I'm Tswana, give Tswana. And then if you live a joke with out, you know, some kind of pseudo with like, you'll speaking lots of YouTube. So yeah, Tswana, which has derivatives of like Soto, and
That's what you
Bedding.
and Bedi.
Soto.
Bedi, so I can kind of understand a bit of that. Zulu, I maybe can understand a bit of Siswati, which is more from Swaziland, but also in Mpumalanga they also speak Siswati. I don't. It's passes the when you on that. I'm like, what? I don't understand at all. Yeah, literally saying that. So in case some people are like, yeah, and I'm like, I've heard that.
But to say something.
Kiwasona all the time. But it's like Kiwasona because, but it might like I'm from Joburg, so my Tswana is like street Tswana. So
What is Kiwaswana?
Tswana is like from Botswana. It's like it's one of the indigenous cultures in South Africa. It's Setswana. So if you go to the northwest, they speak Setswana, like proper deep Setswana.
Okay, give me a word.
I'm a Joburg, but like I'm one of the few. Okay, so Joburg is like coming to New York. New York is just filled with immigrants. Different people from like different parts of the U.S. around the world. Johannesburg is pretty much the same. So we have 9 provinces, or some 9 provinces, and each province has different cultures, but has predominance of certain indigenous languages and
Culture.
So Limpopo is predominantly like Pedi, Tsonga, Venda, Shahad. Then you have Northwest and what? Sulubedu, which is...
Give me a word that's not English and tell me what it means.
I know you are enjoying this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Now back to the episode.
Anywhere.
Oh, this Kitla. Kitla means I'm hungry. But like, so let me explain to you.
I like that because you're...
So yeah, so then you have Northwest where it's like Tswana people. So but West Tswana, Sisiti, Makata, Barolo. So it's like Bakwena, Nakamakata, so the different cultures. Then you have Free State, which is Soto.
Yes.
Soto, Free State has Soto, which is linked to the Soto, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Then you have Zulu. Which you have Zulu,
I'm saying like internationally. People are familiar.
which is like KZN, where Shaba all the history, that. And then there's what else? Eastern Cape, that's where it's Xhosa. Because people live there. But in Johannesburg, so I'm like one of the only few people that, there are a lot of people that are born and bred in Johannesburg. Obviously now with, what is it when people move? Migration. There are people that are now born in Johannesburg. So my Tswana is not going to be the same Tswana as like my mom speaks. It's like
slang.
Because like it's slang. It's like I grew up with Zulu people, Xhosa people. So like my Tswana is it's not deep. But I can hear you, you can hear me. You know what I mean? So he be like, I'm not sure if it's on a person says
Yeah.
it's
Klappe go rata. Or put it getala. This kilometer.
I'm loving all of this.
So yeah, so it's like it's interesting. It's like the Joburg kids that like when everybody else goes back home, like during the like holiday season, like I'm like this
is my home.
I'm not going anywhere. So that's like super quiet.
Are they going like back to the villages?
Not every provinces have villages, but they're going back to their states, which we call provinces. So they go back to KZN, East London, West, and they go to their townships or wherever, where I just stay here.
This is wonderful though, and I think the people listening are going to gain so much of this and the culture of this.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the food for a little bit while we're on the subject of culture, because you're a celebrity chef. What is like signature to South Africa?
It's so diverse, South Africa, because I feel like, you know, like one of my dreams or goals as I pursue this thing is to introduce people to South African food. And South African food to me and to him is completely different because we're from different cultures. It's like the way your mom makes a chakalaka or collard greens is very different to what his mom would make chakalaka, which is like a South African spicy relish. And people have these conversations all the time. Like they'll see me making the food for like the American audience. And like, I'm like, if I was doing street food, I would give it to them raw as is. But because I'm fine dining, refining, finessing it, the flavors of the food is very South African. You're going to taste chakalaka. You're going to taste chakalaka, but it might be smooth. But you're going to taste chakalaka. You're going to taste achar and mayonnaise, but I'm not making an achar mayonnaise. You know what I mean? And so, the food in South Africa is, because we have parts of the country that are so tropical. Like if you go to Limpopo, our mangoes are like this size. Our bananas are like this. Our avocados are beautiful. Like it is insane. You know, the food culture in Limpopo is completely different to the food culture in Eastern Cape, and very different to the food culture in KZN, because people are different, right? And they have different influences. I hope you've had some South African food while you're here.
Well, have you here? I've been to Ethos.
That's awesome.
Just that is next.
I mean, it's probably owned by, it's good food. But
It is good food.
South African food. It's like,
Okay, so tell me where I need to go to get it.
good.
Okay.
You need to, I'm trying to figure out if there's anything like in this area that sells like traditional food. It's just not going to be as good as it would be like if you went to the hood. Like you need to have a porta, you need to have like makwenya. I should have made. Anyway. You need to have pap, you know, you need to have a good stew. You need to have a marinada, you know, my body, something. But anyway, also John, you know, it's not your first or last trip.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's your first, but it's not your last trip.
Yes, it's my first, but definitely not the like.
Yeah.
And even my feelings been here. My dad the whole time, he's sending me pictures. He's telling me where to go.
That's
My sister loves this place. She always says she get a house in Cape Town. So.
Yeah. I feel like you're probably gonna get a house soon, and I can smell it. I can smell it because I smell it. So
No, it's lovely.
yeah,
It's definitely lovely.
it really is unique. I think South Africa is so special, and just the people are amazing. Like you could go anywhere, and people will tell you like, "Oh my gosh, South Africans are so friendly yet so kind," and that's just who we are, you know. And I get to travel a lot, so I'm like, when I come home, I'm like, "You want me so listen so much," and just like speak it in so to me or something, wrap me in so or just like so happy to be home. But anyway, I'll walk for another 2 months.
But you've been enjoying this, though.
The journey,
Yes.
I think is I don't have stability. Like I'm here, like in like, and also like another thing is like property, like in New York in particular, is so.
Yeah, it's so small.
Like this would be your bed, and then like that's the kitchen, that's the toilet, and then
And LA is further because I was like, maybe it's LA. But when we get you to Atlanta may have to be the other.
I know that's
US
like,
base.
I feel like if I go to that time, I don't want to come back for a weird reason. But like everything is so small in New York. Like
Yeah, Atlanta, you have some room.
it's like in Atlanta, I've seen the houses in Atlanta. I'm like, okay, these seem
Yeah, you can have some space. You can have some
space, you know, but then like we'll work at like New York.
Not necessarily.
Really?
Oh, no, not necessarily. We're like, there's LA Hollywood Productions and there's Atlanta.
I guess it's
Yeah.
LA as well, thinking about it, but like,
But Atlanta, we get about a third of the productions.
oh yeah.
LA gets about a third, and then New York gets about a third.
Right.
Yeah, we're Hollywood of the South, so.
I like that.
No, it literally is. That's
No
right.
productions week. I love it. That's great. Then I guess, yeah, send the invite. I'll take the flight.
Yes, most definitely. Well, if you guys have been listening and you are enjoying this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Fearlessly Living with Arian and Simone. Thank you so much.
This is Miss Cindy.
Yes.
We love you.
Love you too.